I gotta be careful here. I think it's European basketball is no entertainment. It's straight IQ basketball, straight coaching, and really, really high IQ guys.
Schroeder made a comment. He says NBA basketball here is all about entertainment, and NBA basketball where he's from in that area,
European basketball
is all IQ.
People gonna say, well, how much IQ you got? You turned down $80 million to sign for $5 million a year. You turned down a 4-year, $80 million deal to sign league minimum deals now moving forward.
Dang.
And so here we go again, back with another one. Welcome back to the Dark Times channel. And before I get started, make sure you guys go and hit that like button for me one time. And if you're not new to the channel and you've been enjoying the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and dive in. This isn't going to be one of my longer videos, but I had to take a second to chime in on Dennis Schroeder and some of the comments he made in regards to Team USA, or the differences between Team USA and European basketball.
European basketball is no entertainment. It's straight IQ basketball, straight coaching, and really, really high IQ guys who know how to play the game. And I mean, Serbia, Greece, Spain, France, Germany. I mean, there's so many teams out there who knows how to play, who is athletic, and I think it's a lot of people from Europe in the NBA who make some noise. Slovenia with Luka Doncic, one of the best players in the world. Of course, I mean the USA is one of the best leagues in the world, or is the best league in the world. But European, they come in for sure.
And so Dennis Schroeder said what he said, and I don't think a lot of people took offense to it, especially knowing Dennis Schroeder's background, him being from Germany, born and raised in Germany, coming from that European circle. And so he was over there trying to get some brownie points, saying all the right things, because at the end of the day, he has to go back home one day, I would assume. And so, like I said, that was his opinion, and he has a right to his opinion. And subsequently, so does Kevin Durant. And all KD posted in response was entertainment plus high IQ. And that was enough to put Dennis's panties in a bunch. And his response was this. I'm gonna go ahead and let Molly tell y'all, and then of course I'll come back and chime in.
They won, and Kevin Durant tweets high IQ and entertainment. For me, that's just being weak. You're that type of star, and you have to say something to a person like me who didn't even mean it to be negative. It was just what I see from both sides. I didn't appreciate it, I don't care, but at the end of the day, that tweet or whatever he posted was because of me. For me, it was never no negative stuff. I respect all of those guys, all GOATs, but to say that tells me how weak he is as a person. It is what it is. Not everybody is strong, not everybody is in a good place.
This brother is something special. And Dennis Schroeder talking about him, you talking about him like he's just somebody. Or I know they're all GOATs. Well, you ain't talking about him like he's a GOAT. You attacked his manhood. You talking about he's weak. How dare you say something like that about Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant don't deserve that.
And so I agree with Stephen A. Smith 100% on this. And the reason why Dennis Schroeder had his panties in a bunch, and the reason why he attacked Kevin Durant like he did, is because he was embarrassed. Kevin Durant embarrassed him, because up until that point, I had no idea that Dennis Schroeder even made that comment. Like a lot of other people, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people had no idea that Dennis Schroeder had even said that. But leave it to somebody like Kevin Durant, somebody who sits back and likes to digest a lot of different content, use those comments as fuel. And the moment that Team USA took home the gold, he was able to G-check Dennis Schroeder just a little bit, because that's exactly what he did. Because if somebody else made those comments, somebody of a different complexion, a different hue, if somebody made those exact same comments, I'm sure we would have heard about it. But because it was Dennis Schroeder, he was able to use those exact same tropes that we often hear. And I want to go ahead and address those IQ remarks, or high IQ remarks made by Dennis Schroeder. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and let Chad Ochocinco speak on it real quick. And then, of course, I'll come back and chime in.
You have to have an IQ to play the game of basketball. Whether you're playing in Europe, whether you're playing in America, no matter where you're playing, you have to have an extensive IQ. Now you have some players whose IQ is much better than others. LeBron, Jacoby's, your Michael Jordans who see the floor a little different than everybody else. But I mean, it's a comment like that is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It's something like that. That's something you can probably keep to yourself.
And so absolutely, I agree with Chad Ochocinco 100% on this one. Because I don't care what sport you're playing, like he said. I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football. You have to have a high IQ, a high sports IQ, or a high IQ relative to whatever field, whatever sports field that you're in. That's what separates you from everybody else trying to get to that level, trying to get to the level of being able to make money off of playing a child's game. There's thousands of guys out there that have the athletic ability to be able to play in the NBA. They can shoot it, they can dunk it, they can get to the rim. There's 1,000 guys like that. But what separates them is the IQ, the basketball IQ. Can they make the right reads? Can they play without the basketball? Can they process fast enough? This is what separates just elite athletes from elite athletes with high IQs. That's the NBA. That's the definition of the NBA. And this whole notion that the Europeans are catching up to the Americans. I'm going to tackle that real quick. First of all, it's not true. And let's call it for what it is. When people say European, they mean white players. They mean white countries. Nobody looks at Giannis, nobody looks at Embiid and thinks European players. These are Africans that grew up in Europe. They're not European. And the people over there don't even consider the people that look like them natives. If they couldn't shoot a basketball, they would still be looked at as immigrants in their own country. Let that sink in. And so the Africans are catching up. I'll say that. Around the globe and playing for all these different countries. You saw what Sudan did. Absolutely, the African countries are catching up. But as for the Anglo-Europeans, I'm not really seeing it. It's really status quo. It's as it's always been. There's always been a handful of Europeans that have come into the NBA and had success. Whether it was Petrovic, whether it was Dirk Nowitzki, whether it was Sabonis for a little while, even though we never saw the best of Sabonis. And so we've always had a handful. And so right now it's Luka and Jokic. Those are the two. Outside of that, you really can't name anybody. And that's no shade and no disrespect, but that's just the reality. The only thing that's hurting the U.S. and the only thing that's holding U.S. players back is themselves. We've lost our imagination. And imagination is everything. If you think back to the early days of basketball, when it was played on the playgrounds and it was played in the streets, it was played at the Rucker or wherever, in your driveway, in the snow. It created an Allen Iverson. It created a Michael Jordan. It created a Magic Johnson, a Larry Bird, where these players were doing things that you had never seen before. And right now with AAU basketball and all these YouTube trainers telling them how to do it, what to do, when to do it, it's stifling the creativity. So it's not really everybody else getting better. It's just the US is stagnant. When you were once the teachers and the creators of something, now you're just the students. But go ahead and let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments section below, and make sure you guys hit that like and that sub button if you haven't done so already. And as usual, peace and chaos.